Alright, sup. We're gonna talk about if Dungeonborne's new update is worth all 40k players it had to come back. Is it worth it? If I'm being honest, if you didn't like it then, you're still not gonna like it. I will say though that in the early stages of any game, I mean they have to get good at it, right? They have to get good at making their updates. There's no choice. They have to feel it out. That's why this game is not totally full release, but they're still testing and trying to build it. Now, let's talk about why though. Why is it like that? Well, one of the reasons why is there's a lot of good players that are... There's a lot of, in this game, if you make a mistake, you get punished just a lot harder for it. Like, the consequences are super high if you make a mistake. Now, gosh dang it. Now, decent players or mediocre players will just be destroying brand new players. Let's see what happens in this fight. This will be a good example. I win. I just won the fight. That's how little room you have to make mistakes. Sorry. Yeah, so I mean, I saw him first and I got my damage off first while I still have my E. I cannot, for him to play that well, he cannot let me get a Q off on him like that. Big part of the reason is stuff like this. It's a big skill difference because if someone's a newer player or doesn't, you know, practice what they need to get good at the game, then they'll just get destroyed. So you have a lot of semi-decent players though, just destroy curb stomping brand new players. And so what that's doing is kind of gatekeeping. It's gatekeeping the game from players wanting to keep playing. And that's not good. It's almost like they're guarding the doors to the game being fun because you're punished so hard. Now, obviously you can say all kinds of stuff like, yeah, they just got to get good, that's all. The other thing though, there's a lot to be said about this, but one of the other things is they did with the new changes, I guess they decreased the loot that you get from regular mobs, and supposedly they increased the loot you get from elites. I've killed one elite, I haven't noticed it. Now me as a player that's really comfortable at just going around killing and fighting people, it feels useless to try to fight an elite for, you know, 7 minutes. You give away your position fighting them. The one elite I killed was not worth it. You give up your position fighting them though. It takes too long. It takes all of your resources. Pyro, for example, can't even... I'm not even allowed to fight regular mobs. I can't even navigate some areas because it would take all of my mana just to do it. Let's look at this rat, for example. I mean, that took all my lightning charges. Oh my gosh, let me make sure I don't just die. That took all my lightning charges. I missed 2 of them, and then it took all of my throwing knives. That's enough to determine whether or not I win someone coming up on me. But that's just one mob. There's rooms with like 5 or 6 mobs in them. And so, I mean, you can just imagine if that's one mob, what is those other rooms like? There's stuff you can do, of course, but to like help, like try and my goodness, potions. Maximize your AoE and stuff like that, but it's way too much work. You are rewarded a little bit, but you put yourself at such a gigantic disadvantage. So this is a PvP game, right? PvE is kind of out of the question right now, if I'm being honest. Like melee users, they have a little bit better time with fighting PvE. But yeah, it was already troll to fight mobs before the patch, but now it's even harder. And doesn't feel like the rewards have changed too much. I can't say too much on it because I just haven't done much PvEing. I did a little bit and I'm like, okay, I need to just kill one singular player and I'm almost full of loot. I mean, this was one player. And potions are worth 500 gold each. Let's take a look at this. So yeah, I ran out of potions yesterday. I can't buy anymore. And I've been coming out with so much loot. I haven't even had room to get the little vials that you need to make them. And people just, they don't have very many on them as it is. But mana is like, that's a potion I have to have, right? I can't play without mana. So I have to either play a new character or I can go to casual and then just kill all the new players, or the players that didn't succeed in classic and then now they're bankrupt. To start farming potions, so killing players for their potions and looting as many chests as I can. Probably get on rogue, and that's how I would prefer to do it, because I want to keep playing my pyro. Let me show you another thing that's kind of ridiculous. This thing, it was advertised sort of like you could loot it and it would be cool. This is actually only for, I don't know what determines this. The price changes all the time, as you can see right there. I tried to point at it on my screen. You can see insurance price right there, right below the defense level. This is all 10k gold for these greens. So like, it's only for, let's look at the legendary items. It would take to insure it. So it would take 86k. Is that the same with this one? 1,000 less. So it's definitely not worth insuring any greens. Let's see if we can insure if blues are worth it. No, it's not. Let's look at helmets. Is it worth to do this? No, it's not. Yeah, so I mean, you can just go to here. I can buy a helmet for half the price. Let's see, I can buy rings for like a fifth of the price. I mean, that's not worth it at all. You're insuring it because you want to protect it, right? Let's see set items. See if set items are different. My goodness, 28,000. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It seemed like you would be you're quickly gonna see people not using the dice, like really quickly. I don't even know why they might have misclicked or like didn't look at it, they just clicked it. But 28,000 for an epic dagger. Let's check the prices. Yesterday this would not have been worth it, but let's see. Let's look at the more expensive ones. Yeah, I mean there's purple daggers in here for 10k. Let's see, 15k. Yeah, there's tons of daggers. You can get an epic set bonus, and this is Fairy of the Lake. Fairy of the Lake is probably way cheaper. You can buy a better dagger, just brand new. You could buy 2. And in some cases you can buy almost 3 for the insurance cost. So there's no point in trying to protect this. The only time where it would be good to protect something like that is if you're playing, you know, some rogue Storm Rage items are super expensive. Let's see if I have any. Exquisite stuff. Wow, 10k gold, interesting. Trying to see if I have something that's not heirloom, but all Swordmaster stuff. Yeah, so I mean, maybe you have an epic set item that's, you know, worth like 300k or something, which that happens. Then maybe somehow it would be worth it. It seems though that none of these items are gonna actually be worth it though, unless it's a legendary. If it's a legendary, sure, yeah. These are 300k gold legendaries. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, it seems kind of weird that they did that. When you add a new variable in like that, you want to think like, okay, what all other variables influence this new variable that we put in? You can think of an easy way to see it is like, okay, what's the purpose? What's the value of insuring an item? It's so you don't lose it, right? And you don't just waste your money having to buy a new one. Well, you actually do waste your money. You waste your money. The value, I mean, it's like you're being scammed almost in a way. You're scamming yourself insuring your gear if it's not a 300k, if it's not at least a 40k set item. If it's legendary, yeah, that's worth it. Alright, so yeah, I think bottom line, no one wants to learn the game. It's not fun enough to learn. So that means the beginning of the game sucks for everyone. You quickly realize going into it that gray lobbies don't give you anything. I think I stopped playing gray lobbies like within the first couple matches. I was like, geez, get me out of here. It's the game, you learn the game quick enough to where you can do something. You just have to learn to be decent and you can start doing something. Right now, I think a lot of people are just going bankrupt, thinking, you know, they're going to go into Classic and buy blue gear. And they're all going bankrupt. Like all the players that came back, I'm pretty sure they're just all bankrupt. Obviously, they don't really realize that you don't need blue gear. You can go in with green and are completely fine. That one day I played, I killed so many people and I'm just using green only. But they went bankrupt super quick. It's not fun dying and losing all your stuff. And then when you go bankrupt, you're forced to go play with grays for hours. Like if you go bankrupt, that's definitely not fun. I mean, hope is not all lost. They can turn this around. They need to think when they add stuff in, you know, like it might sound obvious and dumb. I don't know what they're all talking about internally and all that, but they need to add, when they add something in, they need to think, what does this do? Like, why are we putting it in here? For this purpose? Okay, what other variables are already in the game that influence that purpose that we're putting in it? You know, what variables influence this variable? That's how you have to think like that with everything. So far, what they've added in, I mean, I had fun because I'm just having fun going in there killing all the new players, pretty much. That's just what it was for me. I was getting ridiculous amounts of loot. Just stuffed as can be. That's why I had fun with it, because I'm just killing a bunch of players who quit the game. And I guess all those players are bankrupt. We peaked at like 6.8, I guess, yesterday. That's crazy. I wonder what exactly made this happen. When you first start up the game and you've never heard of this game, if everyone's brain was wiped, yeah, this looks like a really great thing. I do think people need to have some patience with the devs a little bit. I mean, they're trying to build something that's going to last longer than, you know, a couple of years probably. But yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts on why are you guys quitting the game? What's not fun for you in it? I'm curious. I played with 2 randoms today. They hated the game. They left when they lost that match, supposedly. Yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking of the game. I don't know what's up next. Queues are not popping, so we'll just see what happens. Yeah, all right, see ya.